Hello and welcome to another very special edition of the Hibee Buzz. We have reached episode 10. I'm Angus Scott and I'm delighted to say we have very much a women's special after such a successful night at Easter Road for the women's team this week with that 3-0 victory over Hearts. So it's a great warm welcome to the Hibee Buzz for Dean Gibson and Amy Muir. Great to have you two on board.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Anytime. Also on this edition of the Hibee Buzz, now we have a very special competition for you. We have an online code for FIFA 2022 for Xbox only. And to have a chance of winning that, we just need your comments at the bottom of this edition of the Buzz. So we'll remind you about that later, but that's all you need to do to have a chance of winning this online code. I'm delighted to say Adam Tomlinson from the club is with us as well. So plenty to come. We'll also hear from Jack and Chris Cadden. So another bumper edition for you. But let's turn our attention to the women's game this week. And Dean, a terrific night all round on so many levels.
Yeah, I think I said last night after the game, winning the game actually just turned out to be the icing on the cake. I think it was just a special night. Not just for Hibs, but for Scottish women, football as a whole. And to break the record attendance was special. To do it at Edinburgh Derby was even better. So to score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet just kind of helped the occasion and just added to it that little bit more.
5,512 there, Amy.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think, as Dean said, I think we are happy that it's us that have broke the record and we've been a part of that. And obviously a big thanks to the club for being able to support us in doing that, and getting to play in the stadium was brilliant last night. And I'd say I speak for most of the team that's probably the biggest crowd we've played in front of, so it's something new for us, but I think based on last night we can definitely say we want to do more of that, because it was just a great environment and atmosphere to be in.
And the feeling of being at Easter Road? Yeah,
amazing. You just feel part of the club, and being able to play in that surface, like great pitch and a great stadium, and obviously being at Edinburgh derbies, it was a bonus, and coming away with a win and a clean sheet is the most important thing in the end as well.
Well, it was a good win, Dean, but I gather you were a bit hard on them at half time.
Yeah, I wasn't happy at half time. I think it was strange because when we normally score early, that normally settles us and we normally go on to have good games. Our problem normally is when we don't score early, we sort of kind of struggle to find our rhythm. So when we scored early, I thought, here we go, this is it, this is what we needed. But we kind of sort of dropped a little bit too deep after that. So yeah, half time, we wanted to go out and put on a show, and I think we did that in the second half. We probably could have, we scored 3, I think we probably could have scored more than that, in truth be told. But yeah, first half not so good, second half I thought were excellent.
Amy, what did he have to say to you at half time, if you can repeat it?
Well, I was warming up at the time. I came on just after half time, so I didn't hear what was said, but obviously the message for me going on was just keep the intensity there, and we think we could see that they were tiring, and we wanted to be ruthless and go on and score more goals, and I think we definitely lifted it in the second half and looked a really good team in the second half. So.
Well, it something worked at half time, didn't it, Dean? You changed it a little bit, and Amy coming on, but you wanted a bit more aggression, a bit more positivity.
Yeah, we wanted the fullbacks to get high because we knew that Hearts were going to kind of defend as a low block, as they call it these days. And we knew if we could get the fullbacks high and wide, it would stretch them, which would then create more space to go through the middle, which is where the goal is. So I think Shannon and Ricey did that better the second half, and then when we got Amy's energy and aggression and pace on, that certainly added to it as well. So I think the third goal was a great example of why we need to get players high and wide, because we played, I think it was 3 passes and we scored a goal right through the middle of the pitch. So yeah, the message at half time was to move the ball quicker. We had a lot of possession in the first half, but it was safe possession. I would rather have we took more risks, go through the middle, maybe lose the ball at times, but that's okay if we're trying to score. If we're just going sideways and backwards, we're not going to score many goals. So it was important that we kept the ball, but when we kept it, we tried to do it in a way that was going to hurt Hearts, and I think we did that more in the second half.
And then that's the 7th goal of the season, I think, for Alexa Core. What can you say about her?
She's been brilliant. She gives us a new dimension, and it's something that helps in times, but then you've seen the impact that Elidih Adams had when she came off the bench. So they both have different styles, and their styles will suit the games at different times. So Alexa was excellent for the, I think, was it 70 minutes that she played, and then Ailey was outstanding for the 20 minutes when she got on the pitch. And I think we called it right. I think Alexa's style suited the first 20 minutes, and Ailey's style probably did suit the last 20. So it was perfect all round for us. And Ailey getting a goal and an assist. I think our first touch was her assist, and our third touch was our goal. So it was a perfect night for both strikers.
Terrific. And sandwiched in between that, it's been a good week for the Boyles, hasn't it? And Rachel Boyle scoring in the same week as hubby Martin.
Yeah, I think they try and outshine each other a little bit.
That's good competition.
They'll get the chance to do that Easter Road. So it was. I've looked at the celebration. That looked quite similar as well. So I think one of them might need to change it up a little bit and have their own celebration. But it was a good night. And Smalley was excellent. Rachel was excellent for the duration of the game. I thought she was probably a thorn in Hart's side. She kept picking up pockets of space. In the second half, we found her with the ball more, and we know if we can get her on the ball, we're going to hurt teams.
Next match, Amy, against your former club, Rangers.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think anytime we face the kind of top three as it was last season, and Celtic, Rangers and City, we know what we're going to face, and that they're going to be a good side, good quality. But I think when we look at how we done last year, I think we more than matched them, and probably in occasions we felt we could have got more from the game. But that's what we want to make the difference this year, and make those games into games that we take away points. So yeah, the difference for us is just going in the same mentality as last year, and hopefully provide a bit more quality in the final third to take something from the game. But I think we're in a great position and more than capable of doing that this weekend.
Oh, it's great to have a double header for the men's and the women's against Rangers. Just going back to midweek, Adam, 5,512. I mean, we spoke to the club, obviously, and you're inside the club, how important that record was going to be for the club. And it achieved, but not just achieved, but smashed.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. I think Dean said it post-match when you're warming up and you could see there was a few empty seats around, and then kind of as the players came out, then the atmosphere kind of really kicked in, and to be honest, there were kind of barely any free seats anywhere. Like you say, 5,512 people. It's absolutely magnificent. But there's kind of twofold to this. It's massive to grow women's football and to shine a spotlight on women's Scottish football, but also on the flip side to that, there were so many young girls, young boys there last night that would have come away from that game feeling really, really inspired. Young girls that would want to get into the game, and they've seen the likes of Amy, Alexa, Joelle on the pitch and thought, I can do that. And that's one of the biggest takeaways I think that we can have from that. And equally away from that as well, Jack Ross was there, Jake Doyle-Hayes was there, obviously Martin Boyle was there. But then the Scotland women's national team manager, Pedro Martinez Losa, was there as well. So it was a massive occasion and one that was fantastic, not only for the club, but for the entire community as well.
Is that your dog, Adam? I'm worried about him or her.
Yeah, it is. I think he needs the toilet.
Perfect timing. Well, we'll let him go for a whatever. And in the meantime, we'll hear from Elidih Adams after the match.
Elidih, a 3-0 win here at Easter Road tonight against Hearts. As a lifelong Hibee, how did that feel, scoring in the derby at Easter Road?
Incredible, to be honest. I think it being here just makes it even more special at Easter Road. I come here, I'm a season ticket holder, I've come here since I was young, so yeah, it was just absolutely incredible, and to be able to celebrate with so many fans just made it that little bit more special.
And as well, your first touch coming off the bench as well was an assist.
Yeah, I know, just, when you come off the bench, you just want to make an impact on the game, and I was absolutely delighted to get off to such a good start. So yeah, and then obviously I assist Small and she assisted me, so we're equal.
And it was a record crowd of 5,512 here tonight. Just how special was it to play in front of so many Hibs fans?
Yeah, it was amazing. As you say, it's a record-breaking crowd, and I've never played in front of a crowd like that. And as I say, it being here at Easter Road, just so special. Definitely something I won't forget, and I just want to keep reliving it, the goal and assist. So yeah, it's incredible.
Dean, for you, looking ahead to Rangers, what sort of challenges are ahead for you?
They're a very good side. They move the ball well. They shift you around the pitch quite quickly, and they're relentless for 90 minutes. But the one thing that we done with Rangers last year was we made it very difficult for them, and I don't think they enjoyed playing against us. But that came through hard work, commitment, desire. Probably a different game to the one they seen last night where we dominated the ball. It's probably one we're going to have to accept it. There's times they're going to dominate it, and we're going to have to defend properly and be switched on for 90 minutes. And you have to be switched on from the first minute to 90th minute in this league. It's proven in the Celtic game. We switched off for a minute and we got punished. So we've learnt a lesson from that. We need to take that into the Rangers game. Rangers at the minute are the form side. They're the ones that are scoring the most goals at the minute in the games that they've played. I think they've scored 7 goals, they've scored 6 goals, they've scored 3 goals. So they're relentless, and it's going to be, after the week that we've had, it's probably not the ideal game to go into, but it's one that we'll take on with both hands.
Oh, it's great to see Jack there last night. What sort of conversations do you have with him?
He's been brilliant. Again, any conversation, he's always open to me going and chatting to him. He keeps telling me if I need anything, his door's open. And there'll be times I'll utilise that and I will go and speak to him. And I think coming to the game yesterday, we had a chat before the game, and he was just giving advice like, keep calm, try and keep the players calm. It's a derby, it's a big occasion. And I think the best way to describe yesterday was it's probably like when the men go to Hampden, because none of us were used to that occasion. We know what Hampden is, and it's a cup final. And last night sort of had that cup final feel to it, of a big crowd on a big pitch in a big stadium that both teams aren't really used to. So I think any advice that Jack can give, he's used to going to Hampden now. And if I can tap into his sort of knowledge, it's important, and I'm grateful that I can do that.
Well, Amy, you clearly enjoyed this experience, and knowing that the Scottish manager was there, how does that affect you, and what are your hopes internationally?
Yeah, I think for me personally, if I'm playing well at club and I'm playing consistently well, then I'm putting myself in a good position to get noticed. So that's my main priority, is just to gain a level of consistency and play well week in, week out, and help the team. And obviously having that experience before at the squad, it's something that I aspire to be a part of again. And obviously seeing recently some new players getting called up there in their first cap, obviously is positive signs for me, because you can see that he's open to giving players a chance, even when they're young and they've maybe not been involved before. So yeah, I think where my head's at is that I'm just focused on performing for my club and doing what I can to hopefully get another shot there.
Well, good luck with that. I'm sure it will come sooner or later. Good luck also against Rangers. The guys are playing Rangers as well at the weekend. So ahead of that, let's hear from Jack.
I was pleased with our performance level against Rangers in the main last year, but I would acknowledge also that we didn't win any of those matches at Ibrox. So we have to put that right. So for us, we need to at least, as a bare minimum, get close to that performance level, because I think in both those games, we were well in the match, but we then need to look to better them in order to go and win the game. That's why they're champions. That's why they've had such a brilliant home record for the last couple of seasons, because they were able to win games in all sorts of ways. It's something that I think we've got a little bit better at this season. But I know that going to that challenge on Sunday, we need to play well, and we need to replicate big parts of our performances last season and do a little bit better as well.
What were those kind of few percentage points, Jack, that you think had to be done differently to be able to match Rangers and actually get the better of them? It
sounds very simplistic and very obvious, but in those games at Ibrox, we were both won by a single goal. I think we had opportunities in the game that we feel we maybe could have capitalised on more, and we didn't keep a clean sheet in any of the two games. So although we played well in that, I know, as I said, it sounds really obvious to say, but when you keep a clean sheet, it gives you a brilliant platform to win a game, and then you rely on your creativity and ruthlessness. So we've got to get both aspects of that right, as we have done for the bulk of the season, but we're going to have to go and do that against the highest quality opposition in terms of the league.
Well, unfortunately, no away fans allowed in Ibrox, so that's why we are offering a beanbag service back to Easter Road, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was the right thing to do. It's frustrating and disappointing from a club perspective that we can't have our away fans at Ibrox supporting us. I mean, all season we've said how much of a massive difference it's made in terms of not just for our players, but in terms of the overall match day atmosphere. Obviously, for whatever reason, that hasn't been the case. So it was the perfect time for us to utilise the new big screens. So yeah, £5 a ticket and to come and watch it at Easter Road. And I think sales have gone fairly well so far. So we're very pleased with that. But it's more important than that. It's just to actually give the supporters a way to watch the fixture. But it should be a good one, shouldn't it? I mean, Jack Ross said pre-match, this isn't kind of or won't be the first time that he's gone to Ibrox where there's either kind of no away following or a slightly smaller away following. When he was Alloa manager, I think there was 20 or 30 Alloa fans at Ibrox when they were lifting the championship trophy. So he's kind of used to that atmosphere, albeit on very different terms. But it should be a tasty occasion against two sides that are in very good form.
Good stuff. And what else has been happening on the socials that you've got to let us know about, Adam?
Yeah, it's been a busy week since we last spoke. But like you said earlier, it's been a really good week, obviously, for the Boyles. There were definitely elements of the celebrations that kind of showed off their family and the character in the family, which was excellent to see. We talked a lot about the community and bringing people together too. There was a really touching moment at the end of the St Johnstone game where Matt Macy went over to a young Hibs fan and made his day, gave them his gloves, stopped for a picture and a little chat. Something that's really nice, and something that we saw at the end of the Hibs Women's game as well last night. Young supporters just stopping for pictures with their favourite players. It's really, really special to see. We haven't touched upon the win in the Premier Sports Cup quarter-final either. Joe Newell scored, which seemed to surprise him as much as it probably surprised everyone else. He's now a goal-scoring midfielder, he tells everyone. But you could see in his celebration the shock on his face, which was absolutely magnificent to see. As you mentioned earlier as well, Angus, FIFA 22 is almost out. And Martin Boyle is the fastest Scottish Premiership player on the game, which is absolutely magnificent. 92 pace for any people that are looking for the quickest players on FIFA. And Dan Mackay has been selected as one of the 12 brightest young stars in the Cinch Premiership on the game too. And of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention the new third kit, Sunshine on Leaf, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you do, because it's got the lyrics of the song on it, all over it. So it's a really, really nice special kit.
Brilliant. And at half-time during the women's game, we launched our first ever Autism Team as well.
Yes, we did. So that's something that Anne Brown, a member of staff, has been really keen to kind of introduce. So she has her own charity called Team United, and that has grown into setting up the first autism league in the world, which is, first of all, a magnificent moment for football. So she has launched a women's, with Hibernian, she has launched a Hibernian side. So I think there's 11 boys and one girl in the Hibernian team. And the kit's all been donated by the club, and the Hanlon Stevenson Foundation has donated boots to all the kids as well. So it was great, a really special moment as well last night for them to kind of come onto the pitch and see 5,500 supporters in the stands just waving at them.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. The club doing some really good stuff in the community. Amy, finally to you then. How much help is it when, you're saying the guys that were in the stands watching you last night, how important is that for you?
Yeah, I think, as I said, it's a new experience for us, but it's what we want. Like, we want to be playing in front of crowds, and I think as the women's game's grown, and it's getting more media attention, and it's particularly after the World Cup and stuff, I think it's something that we want to see growing. And it's probably the hardest thing that the women's game struggled with up to now is getting crowds out, and I think that was a big statement last night with that figure and the being the record for our league. So I think we want to see more of that, and for us as players, like, it's just a great experience to be playing in front of a crowd where you're used to maybe at the weekends playing in front of family and friends, but you've got faces that you haven't seen before, and you've got fans wanting to speak to you at the end of games, and it's brilliant for us. So I think our message to the ones that came last night is just a big thank you, but also hopefully see you again at some more games.
Absolutely, come back and enjoy it. And Dean, that's what you're clearly, trying to create a successful women's team. The men's team has been very successful so far this season. How much does that rub off on you?
Yeah, you want to try and make this club as competitive as you can, and if we can do our part on the women's side and Jack can do his part on the men's side, then the club will be in a good place. And right now we're doing that. So men and women are doing really well right now, and it's important that continues, and it'll only continue with the support, not just of the club, but of the fans. I think I said last night after the game to someone that the biggest clubs and have the best players because they've got the biggest fan bases. So the more fans we can get out to support us, the bigger my budget comes, the more players that I can sign. So, if we can even take 10% of last night's crowd to the Tony Macaroni more regular, that's massive for us. That would be about 550 fans if my maths is right. If we can take 550 fans to games this season and grow that year upon year, then that's huge. But again, like Amy says, a massive thank you to them coming out last night. It was appreciated more than they'll know, and it's memories that will last with all our lives for the rest of it, and we won't forget it.
That's good stuff. Well, good luck against Rangers this weekend. Good luck to the men's team. And just before we go, let's hear from Chris Cadden ahead of Hibs' trip to Ibrox.
You know how tough a test it's going to be there. I mean, a great team, they're champions for a reason. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be. It's going to be a tough test for us. We know that. We know how tough it is going to be. So we just need to concentrate on ourselves and hopefully we can get a result.
Chris, it was 4 really close and entertaining games between Hibs and Rangers last season, including the 2 at Ibrox. But what's kind of key to going that extra step and getting the result on Sunday?
I mean, I think first and foremost you've got to defend well. I think you've got to be tight as a unit, and because you know how good they are going forward, and then just be clinical and show up all in the final third when we do get our chances. I mean, there's no. It won't be as easy as that, obviously, but it's going to be hard. We know how hard it's going to be, but the Gaff will have a game plan as he does for every game, and we'll just, as players, we'll just try and execute it as best we can.
So competition time, just a reminder how you can win the online code to FIFA 2022 Xbox only. All you have to do is comment below this recording and you will be picked out. We'll have a random winner this time next week. Last week's winner was Stephen Young. And Stephen, you have won the Eden Mill Matchday Gin. So congratulations to you. But if you want to win this week's prize, then make sure you leave a comment below this recording. My thanks as ever to Adam, and a very warm thanks to Dean and to Amy. Thank you for joining us. It's been great to have you, and we would love to have you on again as the season progresses, and I'm sure it'll be a very successful season.
No, thanks for having us. It's appreciated as always.
No, we try and give as much publicity to all the teams within the Hibs brand, as it were. So we want to promote everyone and promote the club itself as well. So thank you to all of you. We will see you again next week here on the Hibee Buzz.